Hi guys, Frankenstein here. I want us to look at completing the square today. So let's see how can we complete the square and how do we come about it in a given parabolic expansion. Oh, sorry, parabolic function. Sorry, there. So let's say we are given x squared minus 16x, right? And then how much do you have there? 15, negative 15, by the way, is equivalent to 0. Now, how do we come about completing the square here? So first things first, you need to make sure that you put numbers on the right hand side and you put numbers with variables to the left hand side. So now in this case, only have one number, which is 15 there, negative 15 specifically. So you're going to take that negative 15 to the right hand side because you must separate it from the variables and put it on the number side. So you have x squared minus 16x is equivalent to 15, positive 15 by the way. And then after this, you're going to open two brackets and square those brackets and leave everything on the right the same. So x, sorry, the square brackets is equivalent to 15. Now what do I put inside the brackets? You're going to take one of the x's there, which will be x, and you take the same sign in between them, which is negative here, negative. Then you take, very importantly, you take half of that number there, which is half of 16 is what? So 16 multiplied by 1 over 2 is equivalent to 8. Right? So you have 8 there. And then, now how do we go about this one going further? Now, the problem now, we've introduced a foreign number, which is 8, which wasn't there in the original expression, but we need to make sure that we balance the right hand side to the left hand side. So we need to also add an 8 on the right hand side, but we can't add an 8, but we need to add an 8 squared because there's a squared outside there, right? So we're gonna say x minus 8 squared is equivalent to 15, but I must add a positive value of this one. So negative 8 squared is what? Is 64, because 8 times 8 is equivalent to 64. So add a 64 there, right? Because now you're trying to balance the left hand side to the right hand side, because you want that when you expand these brackets, they must always cancel and return back to the same expression. So we have x minus 8 all squared is equivalent to 79. Is it fine? Now in this expression, you can also simplify further and say x minus 8 all squared minus 79 is equivalent to 0. And that should be our final expression. Now we would like to go there and check if our answer is actually okay and accurate. So how do you check? You don't always have to do this, but just to satisfy ourselves in this first example and check. So this is check. How do we check? We're going to take the expression the way it is, but I'm going to take this one specifically. So it's going to be x minus 8 all squared is equivalent to 79. Let's expand these brackets. X squared plus big bracket going to be negative 8 multiplied by the x, this one, multiplied by the 2 on top, put there, plus, and then you take this number squared. A negative 8 squared is 64, is equivalent to 79 there, so I can squeeze it there. Okay, so we're gonna simplify what's inside there. So we have x squared plus, now it's gonna be a plus, negative 8 multiplied by that, it's negative 16. So negative 16 x, then plus, let's see what happens, 64. Let's take this one to the other side, so it will be negative 79, and therefore it's equivalent to 0. Now let's simplify this portion here. So it's gonna be x squared minus 16x. Now let's punch that in our calculator. I'm getting negative 15. So negative 15 is equivalent to 0. And now if we check our final answer, that should be equivalent to what we were initially given. And if you check, they actually correspond to each other. So that's how we complete the square. So let's take another example as well, our last example for this video. Take this last example. Okay. So let's say we're given x squared plus 12 x and then plus 35 is equivalent to 0. That's 35, by the way. It's 35. So same thing, take the number to the right hand side. So x squared plus 12x is equivalent to negative 35. Fine. Then after that, we open two brackets and square them and keep what's on the right the same. So negative 35. And then we drop this x, we drop the sign, we drop half of the number there, half of this number, remember. So 12 over 1 multiplied by 1 over 2, that is equivalent to 6, because 2 divided by 12 is 6. And then we have 6 there. And then now, because we've introduced this foreign number, which wasn't there on the original expression, we need to account for it on the right hand side, because we introduced it on the left hand side, and what we do on the left we must do on the right. And now we must take the positive 6 squared to the right hand side. So we have x plus 6 all squared is equivalent to negative 35, right? Plus, what is 6 squared? 6 multiplied by 6. Is that 34? Sorry, 36. So 6 multiplied by 6 called 36. So we must introduce a positive 36 here, so that when you introduce it to the left hand side, it's cancelling out. So we have x plus 6 all squared is equivalent to negative 1. And then finally we can say x plus 6 all squared minus 1 is equivalent to 0. And that should be our final answer, which has been, the square has been completed. So I won't be checking for this one. For this one, I won't be checking. Just drop a comment there and state if it's actually corresponding with the actual given expression. But yeah, until the next video, guys. Cheers.